Hello everyone, myself Dr. Amanpreet Kaur Kalsi. In this lecture, we will take up another topic from developmental biology, that is types of eggs and patterns of embryonic cleavage. The topics we'll cover in this lecture include different types of eggs, cleavage, and patterns of embryonic cleavage. Types of eggs can be classified based upon many categories. First category is the amount of yolk, then the distribution of yolk, then the type of shell, and predetermined developmental potentials. Let's take them one by one. Types of eggs based upon amount of yolk. So eggs can be classified into four main categories based upon amount of yolk. These include alecithal, oligolecithal, mesolecithal, and polylecithal. Lecithal means yolk, A means without, so eggs without yolk are called alecithal eggs. Such eggs are found in eutherian mammals. Oligo means small, so eggs with small amount of yolk distributed throughout the cytoplasm are called oligolecithal or microlecithal eggs. These kind of eggs are found in Amphioxus and tunicates. Third category is mesolecithal. Meso means moderate. So eggs with moderate amount of yolk are called mesolecithal eggs. Such eggs are found in amphibians. Fourth category is polylecithal. Poly means large amount. So eggs with large amount of yolk are called polylecithal. They are also called macrolecithal or megalecithal eggs. These eggs are found in birds and reptiles. The second category of classification of eggs is based upon distribution of yolk. So based upon distribution of yolk, eggs can be of three types: isolecithal, centrolecithal, or telolecithal. Iso means homogeneously distributed. So eggs where the little amount of yolk is evenly distributed throughout the cytoplasm are called isolecithal or homolecithal eggs. These eggs are found in Amphioxus and echinoderms. Second, the centrolecithal category, where the large amount of yolk is concentrated in the center of the egg, leaving just a small rim of cytoplasm around the yolk-laden center. Such eggs are found in insects. The third category is telolecithal eggs, where moderate or large amount of yolk is concentrated more towards one pole of the egg. So the pole with large amount of yolk becomes the vegetal pole and the opposite pole becomes the animal pole. Because of large amount of yolk at the vegetal pole, the nucleus also shifts towards the animal pole, and the small amount of cytoplasm that is available for cleavages to occur in subsequent steps is also available at the animal pole. Such eggs are found in reptiles and birds. Third category of differentiation of eggs is based upon type of shell. So based upon this, eggs can be of two types: cladoic eggs or non-cladoic eggs. Cladoic eggs, they have thick and hard outermost shell which is permeable for gases. They also have large amount of yolk. These eggs are terrestrial adaptation. These are found in birds, reptiles, prototherian mammals, and insects. The other category, non-cladoic eggs, where egg membranes are soft. These kind of eggs are found in all viviparous animals and in oviparous animals which lays eggs in water. Viviparous animals are those which give birth to young ones and they do not lay eggs, such as those humans. Fourth category of differentiation of eggs is based upon predetermined developmental potential. Based upon this, eggs can be of two types: mosaic or determinate, and regulative or indeterminate. Mosaic eggs have future developmental potentialities already predetermined in the form of a mosaic, which means each portion of the egg is already destined to what it is going to form in future, as also shown in this figure over here. If one part of such an egg is removed, this results in a defective embryo because the rest of the egg is not able to compensate for the lost part. These kind of eggs are found in annelids, mollusks, and ascidians. The other category is regulative or indeterminate eggs. Here, the future developmental potentialities are not determined already in the egg. If one part of such an egg is removed, the rest of the egg can compensate for the lost part. Even if one or two early blastomeres are removed from early cleavage embryos, they can compensate for the last part. Such kind of eggs are found in vertebrates, including humans, and most of the other invertebrates. Next, coming to cleavage. Cleavage refers to the series of mitotic divisions which occur soon after fertilization, where the enormous volume of egg cytoplasm is divided into numerous smaller nucleated cells. These smaller nucleated cells resulting from cleavage are called blastomeres. The transition from fertilization to cleavage is brought about by some factors called mitosis promoting factors, which are comprised of two main components, cyclin B and CDK. CDK refers to cyclin dependent kinases. During cleavage, the cell cycle mainly includes M and S phases, that means mitotic and DNA synthesis phases. This means that the growth periods G1 and G2 are largely absent. This results in increase in number of nuclei without subsequent increase in cytoplasm. Thus, the cytoplasm to nuclear ratio keep on decreasing during the cleavage processes. Let's just have a view on cleavage planes before we go further into types of cleavage. The cleavage plane which passes from the animal pole to the vegetal pole crossing from the center is called meridional plane. Any other vertical plane will be called the vertical plane. Likewise, the cleavage plane which passes from the anterior to the posterior side crossing through the center is called equatorial plane, and other planes parallel to this are called transverse planes. Now coming to the patterns of embryonic cleavage. The pattern of embryonic cleavage is largely regulated by two main factors. First, the amount and distribution of yolk protein within egg cytoplasm. Yolk generally inhibits cleavage. So the area where yolk would be present inside the egg, their cleavage cannot occur properly. So this also decides where exactly in egg cleavage will start and the size of blastomeres. Because the area where large amount of yolk would be present, the cleavage would be less, so the size of blastomeres would be large. And second are the factors of egg cytoplasm that influence angle of mitotic spindle and timing of its formation. Based upon these two factors, there are largely two broad patterns of embryonic cleavage. Holoblastic, holo means complete, that means complete cleavage, and meroblastic, mero means incomplete, so incomplete cleavage. Logically, it's clear that complete cleavage can occur in those eggs where yolk amount is very less. So holoblastic cleavage is observed in isolecithal eggs where small amount of yolk is evenly distributed throughout the cytoplasm, and in mesolecithal eggs where moderate amount of yolk is present. Second factor, that is the factors of egg cytoplasm, which determine the mitotic spindle's formation and the timing of its formation, further results in different kinds of cleavage patterns. So isolecithal eggs can have radial holoblastic cleavage, spiral holoblastic cleavage, bilateral holoblastic cleavage, or rotational holoblastic cleavage. Likewise, mesolecithal eggs, they have radial holoblastic cleavage. Coming to meroblastic cleavage. Mero means incomplete cleavage. Cleavage is incomplete because there is large amount of yolk present in the egg. So meroblastic cleavage is found in telolacethal eggs where moderate or large amount of yolk is present in one pole of the egg, and centrolacethal eggs where large amount of yolk is concentrated in the center region of the egg. Telolacethal eggs can have bilateral meroblastic or discoidal meroblastic cleavage. Likewise, centrolacethal eggs have superficial meroblastic cleavage. This shows the holoblastic cleavages, all the holoblastic cleavages which are possible in isolacethal as well as mesolacethal eggs. So as we just talked about, isolacethal eggs can have radial holoblastic, spiral holoblastic, bilateral holoblastic or rotational holoblastic cleavage, and mesolacethal eggs, they have radial holoblastic cleavage. Let's take them one by one. Isolacethal eggs having radial holoblastic cleavages are found in echinoderms and amphioxus. The characteristic feature of this cleavage is that the early cleavage planes are parallel or perpendicular to the animal-vegetal axis. That means it's very symmetrical and gives rise to equally sized blastomeres. This figure shows radial holoblastic cleavage of sea urchin. Here, the first cleavage is meridional from animal to vegetal pole, complete, giving rise to 2 equally sized blastomeres. The second cleavage is also meridional but perpendicular to the first plane, thus giving rise to 4 equally sized blastomeres. The third cleavage is equatorial and perpendicular to the first two. So it gives rise to 4 equally sized blastomeres at the animal pole and 4 equally sized blastomeres at the vegetal pole. Such kind of cleavage is called radial holoblastic cleavage. The subsequent cleavages are unequal at both animal and vegetal pole, giving rise to different sizes of blastomeres, which are named micromeres, macromeres, mesomeres, and so on. Second is spiral holoblastic cleavage. This kind of cleavage is found in annelids, mollusks, and flatworms. The characteristic feature of this type of cleavage is that cleavage is at oblique angles, forming a spiral arrangement of daughter blastomeres. This figure shows spiral holoblastic cleavage in mollusks. The first cleavage is meridional. The second cleavage is also meridional. But from third cleavage onward, each macromere buds off a small micromere at its animal pole. And then these micromeres then displaces either to left or to right of the larger macromere, thus creating a spiral pattern. So with each subsequent division, each blastomere divides to form a smaller micromere and a larger macromere, and the smaller micromeres towards the animal pole, they twist to either right or left, thus giving rise to a spiral pattern. The third kind of cleavage is bilateral holoblastic cleavage, as is seen in tunicates. In this, the first cleavage plane establishes the earliest axis of symmetry in the embryo, separating the embryo into its future right and left sides, such that subsequent divisions occur on both the sides just like mirror images, giving rise to bilateral symmetry in the embryo. This figure shows bilateral holoblastic cleavage in tunicates. First two divisions are meridional and perpendicular to each other. Second cleavage, however, does not pass through center. It gives rise to 2 larger macromeres on the anterior side, labeled capital A and small a, and 2 smaller micromeres on the posterior side, called capital B and small b. The subsequent divisions are such that each division on the right side has a mirror image division on the left side. Figure C and D shows view from the vegetal pole of later stage embryo, which clearly shows the bilateral symmetry in the embryo. The fourth kind of holoblastic division is rotational holoblastic cleavage. Over here, each division is asymmetrical, giving rise to a rotational pattern in the embryo. These are found in mammals and nematodes. This figure shows rotational holoblastic cleavage in Caenorhabditis elegans. Over here, the first cleavage furrow is closer towards the posterior pole, giving rise to a larger founder cell on the anterior side and a smaller stem cell labeled as P1 on the posterior side. From second cleavage onwards, each founder cell on the anterior side divides equatorially and the stem cell on the posterior side divides meridionally. This continues for rest of the divisions during the cleavage stage. So, because the founder cell is dividing equatorially and the stem cell on the posterior side is dividing meridionally, so this results in a rotational pattern, thus rotational holoblastic cleavage. Now coming to holoblastic cleavage in mesolecithal eggs. Because mesolecithal eggs, they have moderate amount of yolk which is concentrated more towards the vegetal region. So they have radial holoblastic cleavage as is found in amphibians, but because of presence of yolk, the holoblastic cleavage takes time in reaching towards the vegetal pole, and so there is a difference in size of blastomeres at the animal and the vegetal pole. So this figure shows holoblastic radial cleavage in amphibians. First cleavage is meridional starting from the animal pole and approaching the vegetal pole. The second cleavage also occurs meridionally at right angle to the first, just as the radial holoblastic cleavage of isolecithal eggs, but because of large amount of yolk present at the vegetal pole, the second division starts even before the first division has completely divided the egg till the vegetal pole. The third cleavage occurs equatorially, but again because of large amount of yolk at the vegetal pole, this is displaced towards the animal pole as shown over here. So this results in large number of smaller sized micromeres at the animal pole and small number of large sized yolk laden macromeres at the vegetal pole. Each division, however, completely reaches the vegetal pole, but it takes time, it's lagged compared to the cleavages at the animal pole, and also the macromeres are larger in size. Coming to the second broad category of cleavage, the meroblastic cleavage, that means incomplete cleavage, which occur in eggs which have large amount of yolk, either concentrated at one pole of the egg or located centrally. So these can be bilateral meroblastic cleavage in telolecithal eggs or discoidal meroblastic cleavage, and centrolecithal eggs, they have superficial meroblastic cleavage, obviously because there is nowhere else that the cytoplasm is present and cleavage can occur. Let's take meroblastic cleavages individually. So bilateral meroblastic cleavage in telolecithal eggs. This kind of cleavage is found in cephalopod mollusks. Over here, first cleavage plane establishes the earliest axis of symmetry, defining the future right and left side. So the pattern of bilateral symmetry and the bilateral cleavage is the same as was seen in holoblastic cleavage, but because majority of the egg has yolk, which is largely distributed in the vegetal region, so all the cleavages occur only in the small cytoplasm available at the animal pole. So the enlarged figure showing the bilateral meroblastic cleavage in cephalopod mollusk. The first cleavage furrow appears centrally. Subsequent cleavages occur And after second division, each division on the right side has a mirror image division on the left side, but all of them are occurring only at the animal pole and cannot reach the vegetal pole because of large amount of yolk. The second type is discoidal meroblastic cleavage in telolacethal eggs. These are found in fishes, reptiles and birds. Over here, because just a small rim or disc of cytoplasm is available, so cleavage occurs only in that blastodisc, which is a small disc of cytoplasm 2 to 3 mm in diameter at the animal pole of egg cell, because rest of the egg is full of yolk. This figure shows discoidal meroblastic cleavage in a chick egg. Figure A to D show the 4 stages from the animal pole, and figure E shows an early cleavage embryo viewed from side. So the first cleavage furrow appears centrally in the blastodisc, and then the subsequent cleavages occur, giving rise to ultimately a single layered blastoderm. The last type is superficial meroblastic cleavage, which is seen in eggs with centrolacethal pattern of yolk. These are found in most of the insects. This figure shows laser confocal micrographs of stained chromatin showing superficial cleavage in a Drosophila embryo. Early nuclear divisions occur centrally. From 10th division onwards, pole cells form in the posterior, and the nuclei, along with their cytoplasmic islands, they migrate towards the cell periphery. So this results in syncytial blastoderms, where only nuclei are present and the cell does not have its distinguished cell membrane. So the only cell membrane present is that of the egg. This is all about different patterns of cleavage. We have one slide on pattern of cleavage in mammals, which include humans. So mammals have alacethal eggs. They undergo rotational holoblastic cleavage. So the unique orientation of mammalian blastomeres with relation to one another. The first cleavage is normal meridional division. However, in the second cleavage, one of the two blastomeres divides meridionally and the other divides equatorially. This is called rotational cleavage. Then they have slow cell divisions compared to other organisms. Then there is an asynchrony of cell division. This is another major difference between mammalian cleavage and that of most other embryos. Mammalian blastomeres do not all divide at the same time. So mammalian embryos, they do not increase exponentially from 2 to 4 to 8 cell stages, but frequently contain odd numbers of cells. Next, mammals form the blastocyst structure characteristic of mammals. And unlike almost all other animal genomes, the mammalian genome is activated during early cleavage. And it is the newly formed nuclei rather than the oocyte cytoplasm that produce the proteins necessary for cleavage and development. In humans, the zygotic genes are first activated between the 4 and 8 cell stages. Major part of this lecture has been prepared from the book Developmental Biology by Scott F. Gilbert. That's all for this lecture. Thank you so much.